Hi, welcome to Bar Cart Bookshelf, a video series about books and the drinks they inspire. My name is Elias, and today we're talking about Metal from Heaven by August Clarke. Metal from Heaven is Clarke's adult debut after the critically acclaimed Scapegracers trilogy of young adult novels, beloved by many Bar Cart Bookshelf viewers, but still on my TBR. And Metal from Heaven, oh, you guys, this is one you gotta read. If you watch Bar Cart Bookshelf, if you're tuned into what we're doing here, this is one you gotta read. It is a ethically powerful work of leftist fantasy. It is fiercely dedicated to lesbianism and queerness and the interconnectivity of queerness and radical thought, and the ways in which it's a smart book. It's a well-constructed book. It is a book about how we suffer and how we love and how we work to build a better hereafter. It is a book that advances a clear moral thesis, a work that is rooted in theory and in praxis, and in desire and hunger and the complication of living up to our ideals amid the comfort of power and prestige. It's, along with The Dawn Hounds by Sasha Stronach, the best use of queer slurs that I have read in a work of speculative fiction in a long time, possibly ever. It is fiercely in tune with the body in the same way that Gideon the Ninth and the Locked Tomb series is. It's engaged with the economies of community in the same fiercely intelligent way as Cadwell Turnbull's No Gods, No Monsters. It does this wonderful thing of a truly great work of science fiction or fantasy, in that it is in conversation with so many wonderful books while being entirely specific and entirely unique and entirely its own thing. It's the sort of book that feels like it could come from no other author, and that's a darn good thing to find in this world. Like, truly, if there are books that you have loved here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, this is a book you will love. You have to read it. You have to read Metal from Heaven. I require that you read Metal from Heaven. It's just you gotta do it this fall. The way that Clarke establishes the theologies of this world and the philosophical principles of this sort of left-wing ideology, the hereafterists, a philosophy that fights to build not tomorrow but hereafter, the tenuous future that must always be fought for, that can last only for a moment, but when you have that hereafter, it's something precious and something worth saving and something worth giving your life to and giving your all to. It's a book about how our paths diverge from what we expected. It's a book about the exploitation of labor and the intersection of labor and exploitation and material resources and intercompeting ideas, champagne socialists and dreadful, fierce, committed aristocrats, and all in this unapologetically and fiercely lesbian and feminist sort of aesthetic and ideology, it's a powerful work of speculative fiction, and one that I recommend unreservedly. A book that I think, and I certainly hope, we will be talking about for a very long time. And so, of course, it had to have a drink. Our drink today is Ichorite, and it begins with 1.5 ounces of white rum. I'm using the Probitas rum today. It's a really excellent white blend, really great for cocktails. Ooh, drop the cork. Nice Caribbean rum, very piratical. I like it in a daiquiri, but I also like it in more elaborate cocktails, like our Ichorite. We're going to get 1.5 ounces into our shaker. Then we're going to get 1 ounce of lime juice. We see a lot of citrus in this book, primarily this azurine, which is a really remarkable citrus fruit. It's blue. We'll get to that in just a bit. But to bring that citric zing of the luster of the ichor of the azurine, we're going to get 1 ounce of lime juice down in there. As I said, the azurine is blue. We don't really have a lot of blue citrus here in our reality, in our world. So we're going to get 0.5 ounce of blue curacao in there. This is an orange liqueur. And so we'll end up with a sort of orangey, limey, citrusy blend in our cocktail. Really bright blue, very refreshing, sort of orange sweet. Lovely. Then we'll get 0.5 ounce of blueberry grenadine. Gonna bring some sweetness, some richness, some depth. Lovely. Into there. And that's scented with orange blossom water as well. So we're getting the brightness of those berries, that zing and zip, the richness of the color, and then that touch of florality with the orange blossom water. And then we'll get 1/4 ounce of something a little more floral in creme de violette. This is a seldom used ingredient here on Bar Cart Bookshelf, just because it is so distinctive, used for the Ninth Saint, for Harrow the Ninth, and bringing this sort of rich depth of floral notes to our cocktail. We'll get that in there as well. It's one that you really don't want to use too much more than like 1/4 ounce of, because it's just so intense. We don't want to end up with our cocktail tasting soapy. So that 1/4 ounce is really right in that sweet spot for what we want with the creme de violette. Lovely. Now we'll get our ice in here, down in there, and shake it up, wake it up. Perfect. Give that a stout tap. Get our highball glass here and strain. Lovely, lovely. As you can see, we've got some space left in our highball glass. We're going to top that with a bit of tonic water. Again, this sort of bitter sweetness, this intensity of flavor, and the brightness of the bubbles as well. Lovely. This effervescence, getting a bit of froth and foam up top. Lovely. And there you have it. This is the Ichorite, inspired by August Clarke's masterful Metal from Heaven. Metal from Heaven is available now. You can snag it in the link down below. A huge thank you to the publisher Erewhon for sending me a review copy. I'm really excited to be getting this book in hardcover for some holiday gifts coming up. I know a lot of folks on my list who are really going to enjoy reading this one as well. We've got links to various forms of social media, including Twitter, Instagram, and Blue Sky, where there's always a written version of today's recipe, and a link to snag my book, Cocktails and Consoles, 75 Cocktails and Mocktails Inspired by the Wonderful World of Video Games. Another really great holiday gift if you're shopping. Please hit that like button. It makes me so happy when you do. Subscribe if you haven't already so you never miss an episode. We've got some really great books we're going to be talking about as we close out 2024 here and head into 2025. I see it. I see that future. And because today is Election Day, I encourage you, if you haven't gone to vote just yet, to get out there and vote. Electoral politics is just one part of the path towards hereafter, but it is one that is a valuable and an essential part of the path ahead. And so if you haven't taken the time to go and vote just yet, I really encourage you to get out and do that before your polls close this evening. And so, until next time, cheers.